We want to give you a quick update on the current situation in Gaza, where the death toll has raced past 25,000. And I understand that we have provided these incremental updates from the very beginning, but it really does merit stopping for a second and thinking about how many people 25,000 is. How many of them are innocent civilians who just happen to be living in this place and are literally not allowed to leave. How many of those are children? How many of those are babies, infants, newborns, now dead? And as that number continues to go up, Benjamin Netanyahu has received terms from Hamas for the release of hostages, and he is rejecting those. Part of the terms included ending the conflict as well as withdrawing forces from the Gaza Strip. He has rejected that, saying only total victory will ensure the elimination of Hamas and the return of all of our hostages. He doubled down on his opposition to a Palestinian state, putting him at odds with the Biden administration, and said Gaza must be demilitarized and remain under Israel's full security control after the war, which is pretty clear right there. And he goes even a step further in this video.
The president addressed Netanyahu's use of the phrase "from the river to the sea" in their conversation today. I know the White House has previously said that phrase is divisive. So
I'm not aware that that specific phrase was discussed.
Do you condemn him using that phrase?
Look, there's a connotation with that phrase. We've talked about this before, but when you use the phrase "river to the sea," it speaks basically to the mantra of Hamas and in their manifesto, where they basically describe the geographic bounds of what they believe to be Palestine. And if you look at it on the map, if you go look at the four corners that they describe it, it's basically the state of Israel. They just don't believe it should exist. So again, it's not a phrase that that we recommend using, given because of that context.
But this wasn't Hamas. This was Netanyahu.
I understand. I don't have anything more on that, and I certainly don't have anything more on the conversation to read out with respect to that.
Yeah, and that's honest. He doesn't have anything more to say. If Hamas says it, then he has lots to say. Everyone does, obviously. But when it's Netanyahu saying it, suddenly I have nothing to say. By the way, can we also bear in mind the asymmetry between the two uses of it? When Hamas says it, understand they can't make good on that. It's an impossible thing that they are saying. When Netanyahu says it, they potentially make good on it. They've destroyed most of the infrastructure there. People have been driven from their homes. 25,000 are already dead. It is slightly less hypothetical when the leader of Israel is using that terminology. Francesca, I apologize for the short time, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it just speaks to how satirical it is and how ridiculous it is that we take Netanyahu's words seriously, that we take anyone who's calling chants from Palestinian voices as, anti-Semitic or genocidal when the other side is literally committing a genocide. They know that. He used that phrase particularly. He's laughing in our faces, and specifically the Biden administration and John Kirby, who are doing all kinds of laundering on Netanyahu's behalf. And ultimately, what did he say? No state solution. There will be no Palestinian state. There will be no Gaza. In fact, I'm going to continue this campaign of bombardment until effectively it doesn't exist, nor do the people who live in it. So just wait. We're all just waiting on the Biden administration to listen when your supposed allies are speaking.
Yeah, and again, it's not hypothetical when you are the leader of the war effort that is devastating the area, and when 25,000 people have already died. And I already dread, Francesca, we're gonna cover 30, and we're gonna cover 35, and maybe we'll cover 50. And at what point will people's hardened support for this war effort finally drop away? Stay tuned to find out.